Welcome back to the channel. Have you ever felt like you keep trying, yet the same kind of trouble returns again and again? Almost like life is repeating a lesson you did not ask for. And have you ever wondered whether the weight you carry is only stress or something deeper, like unresolved karma, old debts of the heart, and pain that seems to follow you even when you change your environment? Today, I want to tell you a story inspired by a well-known Buddhist idea connected to Ksai Garbha, the great Bodhisattva associated with compassion for beings in deep suffering and the vow to keep working until darkness is relieved. In many communities, people turn to a certain mantra associated with clearing heavy karmic obstacles. Some people say you only need to listen once and everything changes. But I want to explore this in a way that is honest and useful. Not superstition, not a sales pitch. A story about what a mantra can and cannot do, and why the real transformation is often not the sound itself, but what the sound awakens inside your mind. The man in our story is named Victor. Victor did not consider himself religious. He respected Buddhism the way many people respect the ocean. Beautiful, deep, and also not something you casually claim to understand. He had grown up hearing words like karma and destiny from older relatives, usually when something went wrong. If someone got sick, they said karma. If a relationship broke, they said karma. If money disappeared, they said karma. Victor learned to hate the word karma because it sounded like a verdict, like a stamp that said you deserve this. And yet, the older Victor got, the more he noticed a pattern he could not explain away. His life felt like a loop. Every time things started to improve, something would collapse. Every time he trusted a person, a betrayal followed. Every time he saved money, an emergency drained it. Every time he tried to settle down, his mind became restless and self-sabotaging. He told himself it was bad luck. Then he told himself it was the economy. Then he told himself it was other people. But deep inside, he suspected something else. He suspected there was a habit in him, a hidden mechanism that kept planting the same seeds. That suspicion was not mystical. It was psychological, but it felt spiritual because it touched the question of fate. Was he doomed, or was he repeating something he could change? Victor worked in a busy city job that demanded constant performance. He was competent, liked by co-workers, and good at appearing calm, but he slept poorly. He woke up with a tight jaw. He carried anxiety like a second shirt. He tried to hide it with jokes, distractions, and endless scrolling. One evening he got a call that knocked him off balance. His younger cousin had been arrested after a conflict that turned ugly. The family demanded Victor help because Victor was the one who always handled problems. Victor went to the station, worked through paperwork, contacted a lawyer, calmed relatives, and paid part of the cost even though it hurt his savings. Driving home late, Victor felt something snap inside him. Not rage at his cousin, not rage at the police, rage at the feeling that he was always cleaning up chaos, always paying for consequences, always the one carrying weight. He parked outside his building and sat in the car with his hands on the steering wheel. He whispered, "Why does this keep happening?" This was not a dramatic breakdown. It was quiet, a tired question that had waited years to be asked honestly. When Victor walked into the lobby, he saw his neighbor, an older woman named Lena, sitting on a bench near the mailboxes. Lena was the kind of person who moved slowly and spoke gently, like her nervous system had learned how not to panic. Victor had exchanged polite greetings with her for years. Nothing more? That night, Lena looked up and said, "You look like you are carrying a mountain." Victor almost laughed. He wanted to say he was fine, but he was tired of pretending. So he sat down and said, "I feel cursed." Lena did not react with shock or judgment. She simply asked, "What makes you say that?" Victor told her the pattern, the repeated losses, the repeated betrayals, the repeated emergencies. He said, "It feels like I take one step forward and then something drags me back." Lena listened, then said something that Victor did not like at first. "Sometimes what drags us back is outside, and sometimes it is inside." Victor felt defensive. Lena raised a hand gently, as if to soften his reaction. She said, "I am not blaming you. I am pointing to possibility. If it is only outside, you are powerless. If some of it is inside, you can practice." Victor asked what she meant by practice. Lena said, "In Buddhism, karma is not just punishment. Karma is cause and effect. What you repeat becomes momentum. Momentum becomes destiny. But destiny can be redirected when you become aware." Victor said he had tried everything. Therapy, hard work, self-help. Nothing stuck. Lena nodded. Then she asked a strange question. "When you are afraid, what do you do?" Victor said, "I push harder." Lena said, "When you are hurt, what do you do?" Victor said, "I shut down." Lena said, "When you feel abandoned, what do you do?" Victor hesitated, then admitted, "I cling, or I test people, or I leave first so I do not get left." Lena nodded slowly like she was not surprised. She said, "That is a karmic loop, not cosmic magic. A loop of habits. When fear rises, you push, shut down, cling, test, or run. Those actions create consequences. Those consequences create more fear. The loop continues." Victor stared at the floor. He felt exposed, but also relieved, because if the problem was partly a loop, then the solution might be partly a new loop. Lena said, "I do not know your whole story, but I know one thing. When the mind is heavy, sometimes sound can become a doorway. A mantra is not a spell. It is a way to gather the mind. It can remind you of compassion. It can soften the grip of panic. It can help you stop feeding the loop for long enough to see clearly." Victor asked what mantra. Lena said there is a mantra many people associate with KS I Tigar Bha, a Bodhisattva Om for the vow to help beings in deep suffering. People listen to it when they feel trapped by heavy karma, untold debts. Some say even one sincere listening can shake loose the tight knots in the heart. Victor almost rolled his eyes. One listening. It sounded like advertising. Lena noticed his skepticism and smiled. She said, "If you listen like a consumer, nothing happens. If you listen like a practitioner, something can begin." Victor asked what listening like a practitioner meant. Lena said, "It means you listen with intention. Not the intention to get a miracle, the intention to wake up. You let the sound steady you. You let it reveal your mind. Then you use that steadiness to act with wisdom." Victor did not answer. He thanked her politely and went upstairs. But her words followed him. That night, he sat on his couch, phone in hand, scrolling without seeing. He felt a strange desperation, not a childish desperation, but the adult kind. The kind that shows up when you realize your usual methods are not enough. He searched for a recording of the mantra. He found one. He put on headphones. He told himself he was only curious. The first minute felt awkward. He did not understand the language. The sound felt unfamiliar. His mind judged it. This is not doing anything. This is just audio. Then something happened that surprised him. His breathing slowed, not because he forced it, but because the rhythm gave his nervous system something steady to follow. Victor realized he had been living in a constant internal rush. Even sitting still, his mind sprinted. The sound did not fix his life, but it gave his mind a handrail. As he listened, he noticed thoughts rising like bubbles. I am doomed. I will always struggle. People cannot be trusted. I have to handle everything alone. If I relax, something bad will happen. He noticed how absolute his thoughts were, how final, how harsh, and he noticed something else. Those thoughts were not facts, they were habits. Halfway through the recording, Victor felt tears come unexpectedly. He was not thinking about childhood trauma in a dramatic way. He simply felt the exhaustion of carrying fear for so long. The mantra did not tell him a story. It created space where the story could finally be felt. When the recording ended, Victor removed the headphones and sat quietly. The room felt the same, but his inner world felt slightly less clenched. He looked at the clock and realized something that would later become a turning point. For 20 minutes, I did not try to control the universe. That was rare for him. The next morning, Victor woke up and felt the usual anxiety, but it was slightly softer. He decided to listen again before work, not because he believed in magic, but because he wanted that handrail. He listened, then sat for a few minutes afterward in silence. This time he asked himself one question. If my karma is a loop, what is one small loop I can change today? The question felt simple, but it was powerful, because it moved him from helplessness to practice. At work, a co-worker criticized him in a meeting. The old Victor would have swallowed anger, smiled, then later sabotaged or withdrew. This time he felt the sting, breathed slowly, and responded calmly. He said, I hear the concern. Let us look at the data together after this. Later, instead of replaying the insult for hours, Victor listened to the mantra for a few minutes. He noticed the mind wanting revenge. He watched it. He did not obey it. The urge passed. That night, Victor wrote down a list of his repeating patterns, not to shame himself, but to see clearly. He noticed he always overfunctioned for family and then resented them. He noticed he avoided asking for help and then felt alone. He noticed he stayed in relationships too long, then exploded or disappeared. He noticed he used business to avoid grief. Seeing these patterns hurt, but it also gave him something he never had: a map. Now the story becomes more intense, because life will always test a new practice before it becomes stable. A week later, Victor got another family crisis call. His cousin was in trouble again, not as extreme, but enough to demand money and attention. The relatives pressured Victor. They said he was the responsible one. They said he had to handle it. They said the family depended on him. Victor felt the old loop activate: panic, obligation, guilt. The inner voice that said if you say no, you are selfish. If you set a boundary, you are a bad person. If you do not rescue, you will be hated. That night, Victor listened to the mantra and sat in silence afterward. He remembered something Lena said. Sound is a doorway, but you have to walk through it with action. He asked himself, what is the most compassionate action that also includes wisdom? For the first time, he realized compassion and rescuing are not the same. He called his cousin and said, I love you, but I will not keep paying for choices that you do not take responsibility for. I will support you in finding resources, in making a plan, in doing the work, but I will not keep being your emergency fund. His cousin got angry. His relatives got angry. They accused Victor of being cold. They tried to shame him. Victor felt fear rise. He wanted to collapse and apologize. He wanted to buy peace with money again. But he remembered the loop. If he obeyed fear, fear would grow. So he held the boundary, not with cruelty, with clarity. That night, he listened again. He felt grief. He felt guilt. He felt loneliness. But he also felt something new: self-respect. This is where the karma teaching becomes real. Karma is not only about what happens to you. Karma is about what you become when something happens. Victor was becoming a person who could hold discomfort without buying relief through self-betrayal. Over the next month, Victor kept listening to the mantra regularly, but he began to see a truth that many people miss. The mantra was not cleaning karma like a chemical cleaning a stain. The mantra was giving him a mirror. In that mirror, he could see the habits that created suffering. Then he could choose different habits. This is purification in a practical sense. Purification is not only about the past. Purification is about stopping the creation of new harm. Victor started making amends in small ways. He apologized to a friend he had ghosted years ago, not to reopen the friendship, but to clean the karmic residue of avoidance. He said, "I disappeared because I was overwhelmed. It was not fair. I am sorry." He apologized to his younger self in a way that sounds strange but mattered. He sat quietly after listening and said, "You did your best with what you knew. Now we can learn." He started giving generosity in a healthier way too. Instead of rescuing, he offered support that encouraged responsibility. He offered time, advice, and presence without becoming a personal bank. As he practiced, something shifted in his sleep. He began sleeping deeper, not perfect, but improved. His dreams became less violent. He woke up less tense. His body started trusting that he was not constantly in danger. One evening, he met Lena again in the lobby. She asked how he was. Victor told her he had been listening to the mantra, and something was changing. Lena nodded and asked, "What is changing?" Victor said, "I still have problems, but I am less reactive. I can feel fear without obeying it. I can feel guilt without surrendering my boundaries. I can feel sadness without turning it into control." Lena smiled. She said, "Then the mantra is working in the only way that matters." Victor asked her a question he had been holding back. "Is it true that one listening can clear karma?" Lena paused, then answered carefully, "One listening can clear something in the mind. If the mind is ready, it can clear confusion for a moment. It can clear tension for a moment. It can clear the sense of being alone for a moment. But heavy karma is often a long chain of habits and consequences. A chain is not undone by one moment. It is undone by practice that changes the chain link by link." Victor felt relieved by that honesty. Lena continued, "But do not underestimate one sincere moment. One sincere moment can be the first link of a new chain. That is why people speak dramatically about one listening. They are not always describing a magical event. They are describing the first crack in a prison." Victor understood. Then Lena said something that Victor would remember years later. KSI Tigar Bha is not only a figure of compassion. KSI Tigar Bha is also a symbol of what you must become inside yourself. The part of you that vows not to abandon the suffering parts of you. The part of you that keeps working even when the mind is dark. Victor felt tears again, but this time they were gentle tears. He realized he had abandoned himself for years. He abandoned himself when he overworked. He abandoned himself when he tolerated disrespect. He abandoned himself when he used guilt as a leash. He abandoned himself when he pretended he was fine. Listening to the mantra was not only about clearing external karma, it was about reclaiming internal compassion. Now, the story reaches a final test. Victor was offered a promotion at work. It would be more money, more status, and also more hours. The old Victor would have said yes immediately because he craved security and approval. But Victor had been practicing. He had been listening. He had been learning to hear the quiet inner voice beneath craving. He listened to the mantra that night and then asked himself, "What am I really chasing?" He realized part of him wanted the promotion to prove he was safe, to prove he was valuable, to prove life was finally rewarding him. He also realized the promotion might deepen his old habit of overfunctioning, the habit that fueled his exhaustion and resentment. So he negotiated. He asked for boundaries. He asked for flexibility. He asked for a structure that would not destroy his life. The company agreed to some terms and refused others. Victor made a choice that shocked even him. He accepted a different role, slightly less prestigious, but healthier. He chose stability of mind over prestige. That choice was karma changing, because karma is not only what happens to you. Karma is what you choose when you have a choice. Months later, Victor visited his cousin and saw something surprising. His cousin had begun working steadily. Not perfect, but better. The family dynamic had shifted. When Victor stopped rescuing, the cousin was forced to face consequences and also forced to grow. Victor realized that his boundary was not cruelty. It was compassion that refused to support harm. This is a hard truth. Sometimes the most compassionate thing you can do is stop being the soft landing for someone else's repeated mistakes. Victor continued listening to the mantra, but now it was not out of desperation. It was out of remembrance. A reminder of the vow inside him. A reminder to stay awake, stay compassionate, and keep cleaning the mind, not through shame, but through clarity. Now, I want to speak to you directly. If you are drawn to teachings about clearing karma, it may be because you feel stuck. You may feel like you have tried everything. You may feel like something unseen keeps blocking you. Here is what this story offers as a grounded path. Sound can steady the mind. A steady mind can see patterns. Seeing patterns creates choice. Choice creates new action. New action creates new consequences. New consequences create a new direction. That is karma in the most practical sense. So can one sacred sound cleanse heavy karma? It can open a door, but you still have to walk. And walking means small daily actions. Speak more truthfully. Hold boundaries with compassion. Stop feeding resentment. Stop buying peace with self-betrayal. Offer kindness without becoming a doormat. Apologize when you cause harm. Forgive without becoming foolish. Return to your breath when the mind tries to panic. Keep practicing when the old loop tries to return. This is how purification becomes real, not as a fantasy, but as a life. Thank you for being here with me. If you have ever felt like you were carrying heavy karma, or if a chant or mantra ever helped you calm your mind enough to make a wiser choice, share your experience in the comments. And if you feel skeptical, share that too. Skepticism can be healthy when it leads to honest practice rather than cynical shutdown. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment to support this community. Until next time, remember this: the deepest cleansing is not the moment you listen. The deepest cleansing is the moment you stop repeating the habit that creates suffering, and you choose compassion and wisdom instead.